So, okay, straight to it. I just finished Monster Hunter Wilds this weekend, and I have to say, this has to be one of the most immersive and rewarding gaming experiences I've had in years. One card throughout the entire story, incredible battles, and a world that feels alive in a way I didn't expect. But more importantly, this game finally made me understand what Monster Hunter is all about. And now that I've seen the credits roll, I really understand that was just the beginning. So, I came back as promised to talk about it. Admittedly, before Wilds, I never fully grasped what made Monster Hunter so special. I knew it had a dedicated player base, and I knew people loved its combat, but I hadn't experienced that click moment until now. Playing through the story, I developed an appreciation for the flow of this game. Like, every encounter is a combination of preparation, observation, and execution. The game doesn't reward just aggression, it rewards patience and precision. So once I embraced that, everything changed as far as my perspective of the game. One of the biggest lessons I learned while playing is that patience is key. Like, rushing in head first will only get you punished, and I think that's what makes the experience so engaging. Every monster has its unique attack patterns and behaviors, and the game challenges you to study them, react accordingly, and capitalize on the right moment. In fact, I'd say the strategic depth here is incredible. Like, choosing the right weapon, utilizing the environment, and even considering how wildlife interacts with your surroundings, all of it plays a role in success, and when everything falls into place, it feels incredibly rewarding. Now, one thing that really surprised me was how structured and cinematic the story felt. Like, I've heard other comparisons, and now that I've finished, I can relate. Like, it reminded me of Call of Duty, like a Call of Duty campaign before you jump into the actual meat of it, or something similar where every mission has a strong sense of direction, spectacle, and high stake moments. But then, once I stepped back, I realized something. This entire story was actually just one long, expensive tutorial, and I don't mean that in like a bad way. It's designed to gradually teach you mechanics, introduce monsters at a manageable pace, and prepare you for the real game that starts after the credits roll. In my humble opinion, it's a brilliant approach. Honestly, by the time you finish the story, you think you've mastered the game, and then Monster Hunter looks at you and says, all right, now the real hunt begins. Not using the SOS added another layer of intensity and drama to every encounter. Like, every dodge, every attack, those moments felt earned, and they were like a big part of what made my journey so special too. And then there's this, like, it all ties back to my personal gaming community. See, it was actually my dog from This Is Awful Podcast that planted the idea of Monster Hunter in my head. He was like the first person to actually suggest to check out this beta. Although I was skeptical, after hearing about it from him and all the hype, I figured I'd give it another shot. And then on top of that, I knew STT Tribe, Brian, and Bob, of course, would be on this too. So, like, getting in the squad up with the old friends and finally gaming in an experience like this was a perfect setup. So when I look back on my journey, it wasn't just about the monsters or the world that stands out. It's the people. Gaming with friends, laughing, strategizing, and experiencing this world together made it feel like it was meant to be. And honestly, this is what made the campaign alone feel like a 10 out of 10 experience for me. And I also have to highlight the world itself. This is easily one of the most immersive game environments I've ever seen. Capcom has taken dynamic ecosystems to a new level with changing weather patterns that don't just look good but impact gameplay. There were moments where I was completely caught off guard by how alive the world feels. A sudden sandstorm disrupting my hunt, wildlife interacting in unexpected ways, even the way the monsters themselves react dynamically, it all adds up to an experience that feels organic rather than scripted. One of Monster Hunter's biggest strengths actually has always been its cooperative gameplay, from the way it was broken down to me. So playing with long-time friends made this experience even more special, and meeting new people along the way. Some liked the game, some didn't actually, but it still added a lot more fun. And honestly, I'm looking forward to many more squad hunts with family and friends. I might even bring, my lady Peaches into the hunt. Who knows? If she takes to it, y'all know it's serious, and I'll stream that. But if I had to pick a couple of gripes, The first would be the convoluted nature of setting up a multiplayer. Actually connecting with friends isn't as seamless as it should be, or I would personally like. And if you're new to this series, figuring out the whole lobby and SOS system, even though that's kind of easy, but it can feel more complicated than necessary. Another nitpicky gripe that I had is where the default camera settings and the menu options are and how they're set up. The camera feels a bit stiff, too close. The secret or the mount and the sheathing settings aren't quite as smooth as I'd like them to be out the gate, you know, with the auto activity. So, you know, I cut those off based on suggestions, but, you know, thankfully they're adjustable, you know, but that's a little nitpick in the grand scheme of things, just to be fair. So where does Monster Hunter Wilds rank for me right now? Again, it's personally my game of the year. I would say I'll give it a 9.967 out of 10, because I know as I progress into high rank and face even, you know, harder challenges, it's only getting better to fully expect it to be a 10 out of 10 experience as I continue to play. And I really think that's the best part, like knowing that the journey is far from over. The depth, the challenge, the sheer beauty of the world, it all adds up to an experience that I don't see myself walking away from anytime soon. Now I'd love to hear from you. Like, how's your Wilds been treating you? Have you fallen in love with the game like I have, or are you still on the fence? Like, drop your thoughts and comments, and if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more Monster Hunter content. I'll see you all in high rank. Peace. Stay safe.